Hello, chat room. How's it going? Chat bots are working. Everything's working. We're good. Crofton, you can be heard now. Hello. You can say hello.
Hello, chat room. I was singing Alanis Morissette, but that was like 10 minutes ago, so now it's no longer relevant. But I'm Canadian, and she is like a well known here, so we were singing her old stuff.
I think she was well known everywhere. Didn't she have? She broke through, right?
After that album that everybody knows about, nobody
Well,
knows.
I heard the other day was on Scott Johnson knew who the Bare Naked Ladies was, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, they
No,
crossed over. Like, they're huge in the States.
Are they?
Yeah.
Bare Naked Ladies are pretty big.
I kind of would have thought Alanis Morissette was bigger than the Bare Naked Ladies.
I think she definitely was at one point. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I will say that Alanis Morissette had at least one album as a Canadian-only artist before she broke big, right?
Well, I think that was same of the Bare Naked Ladies. They had probably multiple Canadian. Whatever. Who cares?
Never too hot, never too cold.
Okay. Hello, chat room. How's it going? Can you see me? Am I here? Okay, great. Excellent. We are going to start soon. You guys, since we spent a lot of time sorting through stuff, I think like 7's probably our stop time for the most part. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. I think what we're going to do here is welcome Mike and Crofton. Hello, Mike. Hello, Crofton. Can't see them on a screen yet, but you'll see them soon. We're going to be playing some Dungeons and Dragons today, as promised.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to muddle through it as much as we can. I've gotten like 50% of what I've dreamed to have done, but not everything in place quite yet. But we're just going to have a good time with what we have. And it'll be awkward and weird, and there'll be technical issues, I have no doubt. But maybe not. But it'll be a good time. How you guys doing, Mike and Crofton? Hello.
Super good. I've been looking forward to this for ages. So, no matter what happens, it'll be good. Like Mike and I were just talking about how we need to refresh on some of we played Baldur's Gate recently, but like some of the base D&D rules and how it works. So I like the idea of this session 0 to kind of get started.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little clunky. I'm also excited to do this. It's been a while. I like the pure D&D. I feel like Baldur's Gate has got me into full murder hobo kind of stuff, and now I'm like, no, we'll move away from that.
You guys remember the days of Harlan the Elder, though, and
Harlan the Elder.
Harlan the Elder and Theron Flashblade and Casmer, and I can't remember what Borkamino was playing, but it was a paladin, I think. And
no, it wasn't him. It was Jason. Remember?
Jason
Dion.
Yeah. Well, he was. Oh, okay.
I
thought he was a. Yeah.
Oh no, he was a barbarian.
Ryan was a ranger.
Ryan.
Yeah, we played with McClatchy.
Yeah, he was an elf, and
Rob,
he dropped.
Yeah,
He
Rob.
dropped
I call him Ryan. Sorry.
Rob dropped. Jason was playing. I do remember the core 3 were myself, Mike, and Breck, I think.
We went through a good amount. Yeah, Harlan the Elder. I feel like that character, he seems so crappy when I played as him, but yeah, good old man. What was he? Cleric dwarf. He did all right.
Yep, good old Harlan. I still have images of him in my phone all the time. He drew a nice picture of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. I should have reprised him for this thing, but no, someone new.
All right. So we'll introduce characters. I think for the beginning, what we'll do is I'm mainly going to center on Crofton for the beginning, Michael, just as like a sort of narrative thing because he's entrenched in the environment. So I think to bring you in, it'll be just at the location, the Toad and Whistle. I'm sorry, Crofton, or the Crooked Smile, whatever you want to call it, but at that place, and you'll be introduced there. We're going to keep it pretty low. Don't expect giant dragons or anything crazy. But, okay.
It's the beginning.
Right.
Just one technical question before you jump into it. On the Foundry page that we're using here, I still see like game paused.
Yeah, it's just I can pause and unpause it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're probably going to be fussing over tokens. I still haven't updated your tokens, so it's your dumb faces. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If we can do something about that to get you get better tokens. I'm still working on it. Like I said, we just wanted to play now, and Theater of the Mind and all that, we'll probably be relying a lot more on that than on Foundry today for any complicated fighting. But I do have a battle map and a mission planned, so even that'll be a bit of a muddling, because there's the way these things work is there's light sources, so that like I can see the whole map, but you only see what you've explored. So we'll be like fiddling with that a little bit, but it'll get better as I get used to it. I'm switching tabletops essentially. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just mute you guys real quick. I'm just gonna do a little intro music for the production values and for when we cut it for YouTube. So I'll see you guys in about 60 to 80 seconds. Probably after the music cuts in, I'm going to do a reintroduction. So if I cover any ground again, just be patient, and then we'll get started. All right. All right. I'm muting you guys now.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to episode 0 of Order of Defiance, a role-playing Let's Play involving me, Bo Schwartz, and my two great friends, Michael Hodgins and Crofton Steers. Welcome, boys.
Hello, good to be here.
Hey, everybody.
All right. And as I sort of said in the pre-show, and I'm going to say it here, this is kind of like a new thing. We wanted to play D&D because folks who've supported the channel, supported Core, and There Will Be Dungeons, enjoyed some D&D. I asked Michael and Crofton if they'd be willing to subject themselves to my experimentations, and they agreed. What great friends. They've just been sitting through an hour of technical difficulties, and look at the smiles on their faces. They seem so thrilled that they spent their Sunday afternoon staring at a webcam. It's great.
Honestly, I am excited, Bo. I'm excited. And listening to the There Will Be Dungeons and some of the stuff you've done since you used to DM us, I think this just makes it more exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. I am not finished by any means my world building campaign assets. I am about as unprepared as one can be playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's why we're slapping a 0 on it. I don't even have an RSS feed for the audio listeners, so I'll put this up eventually. But will be up on YouTube. It will be available in VOD form there, as well as Twitch for now. And as I continue, we're planning kind of a once a month sort of thing for now. We're going to see how it goes, see, how we feel about it. It's all experimental, and there's no wrong answers. We're just here to have a good time. But you may have questions or want to find out where to get that stuff, so YouTube, probably the best place to watch the VOD, and the best place to watch live is probably Twitch, but there is a connected chat bot between the Twitch and YouTube communities, so everyone can just chat with each other while you're watching live. Either place is good. Okay, anything we need to get out of the way? Usually before we get started, there's I don't know, advertiser or something like that. Anyone got something they want to pimp real quick, or some? I don't know.
Really? We can do that?
Sure. Yeah.
So, okay, I got a podcast.
Tell people about it. Get it over
It's
with
called
quick. I don't want to hear a long speech about it, but yeah, let's go.
it's called Dungeons and Diapers. I do it with Ryan Murphy from The Gamers Inn, and we talk about video games and stuff, but also being a parent. So you can check that out. Dungeons and Diapers.
Perfect. All right, great. Well, thank you. It's brought to you this week by Dungeons and Diapers.
Sweet.
They've
Free
sponsored
promo.
us with $0. Free promo for you. Okay, perfect. So the way we're going to get started is I am going to briefly introduce the setting, and then we're going to go from there, probably straight to Crofton. Okay. All right. I guess here we go. In a land far away from the one we know, is a world that experienced its own sort of history of pain and bloodshed. That world has a name lost for long and forgotten. However, the kingdoms which populate this realm remain. On the western side of the last remaining kingdom of this world is the realm of Ashigard, ruled by the 12 tyrants. And in one city amongst this kingdom, the city of Red Skull, new heroes in a new age will emerge. I'd like you to picture rolling green hills that transform slowly to brown red rock, as in the distance on the peninsula of Ship-Eater Bay, heading out to Cormorian Sea. A range of mountains lines the horizon. On the nearest mountain tops, chiseled into the side of the mountain, is a giant skull, tinted brown and red, and atop this skull is a large and foreboding castle, seemingly threatening all who dare look upon it. It is dark and obsidian and stands out in silhouette against the horizon sun. Below these mountains, at the foot of them, is a large and bustling city, replete with the mayhem you would typically find in any sort of bustling metropolis. This is the city of Red Skull. The city of Red Skull is surrounded by large gray brick walls on all sides, houses and farmlands dotting the exterior, and upon the inside, different types of neighborhoods and communities formed. We center our attention upon one dilapidated, run-down, filthy part of Red Skull, the one that the folks there call Grinner's Row. And as we descend upon the rows and aisles and streets of this fair city, we see a human named Tiltrin walking down the bustling afternoon street of Grinner's Row. Barkers yelling out, "Wares for sale, come get your wares. We've got bread here. Bread here, 2 silver a loaf." The streets are bustling with activity, and Tiltrin would be the character Crofton is playing. So Crofton, if you could provide me with a bit of physical description of what your human rogue looks like walking down the road.
For sure. Thanks, Bo. That was great. So I'm Tilton Flea Fowler, and I'm 27. And my character is sort of like in I don't want to say completely dilapidated clothing, but kind of worn, brown clothing common to folk amongst Grinner's Row. Tilton has black hair, sort of light olive skin, is about 5'8". Likes to say that he's 5'9", and is kind of like on the thinner side, about 170 pounds.
Okay. And on a typical afternoon without any assignments, what would Tiltron be doing in Grinner's Row?
So Flea is looking to hustle. Essentially, Flea is in a situation where, he has a fairly domineering father, big presence in Grinner's Row, known as Terry the Terror Fowler, who runs an establishment, which is, a nice way to say a thieves' guild, but fronted by an inn. And Tilton is one of three brothers, and his two other brothers, he's right in the middle. His older and his younger brother are kind of, they've got their own things going on and are impressing their father in their own unique kind of ways, all related to sort of the rogue arts, whereas poor Tilton is still struggling to find his path and is hustling to try to find ways to make a mark in Grinner's Row, which is essentially the only world that he has ever known.
That's what you'd be doing on a typical afternoon.
I'm hustling.
Yeah, hustling.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
All
no,
right,
I'm looking to. So when let's say if you're looking for something specific for this typical afternoon,
not too specific, just an idea of what you might be up to. Yeah.
All right.
Specific. Yeah.
I'm heading out to meet my my mentor, Archimedes, who's an old sorcerer that lives just outside of Grinner's Row. So I'm walking down the street, looking at the merchants, saluting to a couple of people, flashing a couple of thief signs to the right folks, and I'm heading to meet Archie because I am looking again to hustle, find some tips to make me a better rogue, and I feel like his magic may be the key for me.
Okay, and so you'll notice on Foundry, which I brought up here, is I've brought up a map of Grinner's Row with some locations. I haven't positioned a place where he might be. Do you think he would live typically in a richer neighborhood? Because you sort of created Archie a little bit. So does he live in Grinner's Row amongst the impoverished, or is he more of a well-to-do character?
No, he's like right on the edge of Grinner's Row, on the outside, a little bit probably better off, but not a ton. So like he'd be on the edge, and far enough that Flea feels comfortable, heading out and seeing him without getting spotted too much by his family. So
okay, so you'll see here on the map that I have, the Grinner's Row area I've populated with street names, so that would be the area where we would have Grinner's Row. So if you were on the border, it might be sort of near this Trembledorf's or Tremblebeck's High Street.
Yeah, that looks great. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Just trying to get a sense of where he's at. We're going to mark him on the map, I think, at some point. Let me just get... we have, I think, some way of doing that here.
And Archie is trying to stay kind of on the down low. So not many folks are aware of his whereabouts.
All right, let's say he lives about here. How about that? I'm just going to put a square on the map, and that'll...
Perfect.
We'll work on that later. Okay, and that is Archie's place. All right, so you make your way down the road without event. It's just a typical day in Grinner's Row. There's people yelling. There are kids, like urchins, running around. The streets are milled and full with people. You approach the house, and I imagine, even though he doesn't quite live in Grinner's Row amongst the broken down houses, it's still... somewhat dilapidated on the outside. You sort of see a few print sheets lying at the front door, like someone hasn't opened the front door and picked up any of the deliveries there.
Yeah, and I check to see. Right now, I'm probably always checking over my shoulder to see if I'm being followed, or anybody's got an eye for me before I do the rapping on the door in the way that Archie would know that it's me.
Oh, okay. So you'd like to scan your surroundings? I believe
that's correct.
That would take a perception roll, please.
Yes.
first roll of the game.
Perception roll. Whoops. So now I'm zoomed in on this map. I gotta zoom out. Which dice do I roll, Bo?
Right. You remember D&D is a D20 plus
20.
your perception bonus.
All right. So here we go. Roll.
Oh, we're off to a good start.
That's great. That's perfect.
I love it.
New campaign, folks. Here we go.
So you rolled a 1 for the audio listeners. Not that we have them yet, but this may go up on. You rolled a 1, which fortunately for you, I don't consider critical fails and critical rolls when it comes to skill checks like they do in Baldur's Gate 3, which everyone's played. It does factor a little bit into things, but it's not an automatic fail or automatic success. However, 1 plus 5 is still 6, and a terrible might be considered a lowish roll. You don't perceive anything unusual. Looks pretty safe. Typical day at Archie's place.
Great. So I proceed to rap on the door.
Okay. You rap on the door, and you hear nothing in response.
I repeat the rap, and this time I repeat it like we have a sort of a code, if you will, and I repeat it to the beat of that code as clear as possible, and wait again.
Okay. So you repeat it this time, and on the second floor of the house, you take a little peek up, and you see the curtain get drawn aside. You see an older man with a long gray beard and a robe, but with no clothes on underneath. Although you don't peek at any member or anything, but you just see a big hairy, like white hairy chest, and you hear. You see a gesture of a hand, telling you to come in.
So I turn the handle and open the door, and I sigh loudly and audibly.
Okay, you turn the handle and open the door, but the door opens an inch and then is stuck. There's something behind the door.
Great, just great. So I take a look at this the space that the door is open, and I see if I can squeeze through. Can I squeeze through?
No, it's only open about an inch or two.
Okay. I try to perceive what's blocking the door.
What's blocking the door? Okay. You can't see through the door unless you have some means to.
No.
So yeah, there's no roll that will let you see through doors.
I can't like put my fingers around the corner.
You can do that. Yeah. So
okay.
So you put your fingers around the corner and feel around, and this doesn't require a roll. Pretty quickly, you feel the end of some sort of staff that's wedged probably between the door and the wall. His staff was probably just dropped it by the door and left it there.
Oh, just my luck. So I close the door and I look inspect the house for other ways to get in. Like if there's a way perhaps that I could climb up to the top and get in. If there's an open window or a back door. I have some familiarity with Archie's house.
A quick pull might get the door unjammed. You know, like you stick your fingers around it because you can feel where it's wedged. You could probably pull it and get it unjammed, but it would require a sleight of hand check to do that.
I'll do it. I'll try to get that stupid staff out of the way.
Okay, let's see your roll.
Come on, big money.
Hey,
respectable.
And what do you add to your sleight of hand?
So for sleight of hand, it is +5.
All right, so you got 18. So you very deftly, take 2 fingers, flick the staff out of the way, and the door creaks open.
I close the door behind me,
and
I start walking up the stairs and whispering, whisper yelling, kind of being like, Archie!
Yeah, and as you start to go up the stairs, he starts to descend the stairs. His robe is open, and he's completely nude underneath his robe. And he He says to you, "Flea, what are you doing here?"
God, geez, close up. You knew I was coming. God.
Out of
I'm
my
so
way,
worried.
it's time for breakfast.
Do you, so I follow Archie into the kitchen, and while he's doing his stuff and being indecent, I'm talking, and I'm saying Archie, it was tough enough for me to get away. This is my one chance to practice magic with you. Are you even sober right now? Come on.
Every day with the same shit. Why do you want to learn magic? You've got no talent for it.
I know, that's the thing. None of us have any talent for it. Nobody touches it. But if I get good at it, that's my edge. That's what's going to differentiate me from all these other yahoos around here. You've got to teach me. You promised.
Ah, fuck my tits. And he sort of expresses as he opens his bread, what is it, the bread box, and there's no bread, just crumbs in there. Listen, I'll make a deal with you, Flea. If you go to your pa's place, bring me a loaf of bread, I'll teach you how to prestidigitate this afternoon.
This is always how it goes. Every time I come in, you've got some deal for me. It always involves me stealing from my own family. Okay, fine.
That's
A loaf of bread.
how you procure the bread for me is your business, but I don't work for free. A wizard must eat, after all.
You know Terry's not going to give me jack for free. I'm going to have to pilfer it. Anyway, at least it's practice. Okay, so you're free for the rest of the day. You're up now. If I come back, you're going to be awake, right? None of this.
As you say that, he opens a bottle of liquor and pours himself a glass and quickly downs it. He says,
Archie?
"I'll be awake. Just bring me bread. I'm quite famished." And he sort of swings towards you with the glass in hand and his member out, dangling around.
All right. I'll be back. I walk in a huff towards the door.
Uh-huh.
I kick his scepter, the one that was propping the door, out of frustration. Kick it towards the corner as I open and close the door.
All right. You do that, and he grumbles at you on your way out, but doesn't have much more to say, and you're back out in the open air of Grinner's Row. It smells faintly of shit today, about 4 out of 10 on the shit smell meter.
All right. I'm going to head back I'm going to start heading towards my family's establishment, when I mentioned in the opener, which for the longest time was called the Crooked Smile, but that my dad, Terry the Terror, has recently renamed in an attempt to give it an air of legitimacy.
Okay.
And it's now called what, Bo?
The Toad and Whistle.
The Toad and Whistle.
Yeah, and you'll see here on your Grinner's Row map, I've marked some notable locations, number 1 being the Toad and Whistle Inn, but you could, of course, call it the Crooked Smile. It totally was because I made the map before Crofton named the bar. And
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I like your point about it being too obvious. Otherwise, it can still be known as the Smile.
We steal things, Emporium.
We steal things, Emporium. So we're heading to the Toad and Whistle.
Yeah. So you'd have to take you go down Osterson's Way, maybe take the quick cut down Arsehole's Aisle. And then you go. Yeah, there's a.
As I walk,
Love it.
As I walk, I'm keeping an eye out for anybody who might be having any sort of food or bread that I can pilfer. I would rather pilfer from somebody else than my own family.
You want to steal?
I want to keep an eye out for somebody that has a loaf of bread.
Okay, well, Grinner's Row is an impoverished, part of town, and while there are barkers out, there's no, to get to the juicy markets, you'd have to probably go to Centertown to the Red Skull Bazaar.
Okay.
So not really anything on your way that would be an easy mark.
All right.
Tough customers here, especially in Arsehole's Aisle. But you make your way down Debbie Fold's Cut, cross Grinner's High Street, which is the main street of Grinner's Row, down to the resolution on this kind of messed up. I can't read half the roads I wrote. On the next road down to Spider Isle, and Spider Isle is the street that the Toad and Whistle's on. So as you get to Spider Isle, you see before you the inn that is your family's home and place of business. It looks appropriately run down, but from conversations with your family that appearances are important. So in spite of your family's abilities and capabilities, the place does look in a pretty shoddy state of repair on purpose to avoid prying eyes and attention. And you see there's sort of a sign where it would have said the Crooked Smile, and there's a sign hammered on top of it, Toad and Whistle, where it's sort of a construction in progress kind of thing. And
that fools everybody. So I walk in. Is that it?
Yeah, that's where you headed towards.
Yeah, I'm headed. I walk in and right off call, as any self-respecting rogue would do, for my mom. And be like, Mom, are you there? Are you in the back, Mom?
Okay. And your father, what's his name? His name
is Terry the Terror Fowler.
Right. So you open up the bar door and you see, a handful of patrons sitting at the various tables, and one at the bar, not facing you. And Terry's there, your father, Terry, is wiping down the table, and he looks up from his wiping of the bar at you, and his face is just complete scowl, just because you're yelling for Mom as soon as you walk in the door.
Oh, great.
Now, does he call you Flea or does he call you Tilton?
He calls me Flea. My mother calls me Tilton.
All right. Flea! Why are you yelling for your mother?
I need some bread.
I'm trying to run an establishment here. Why? What? Apologies, everyone. And he's like, come over here.
Yes, Dad.
And where have you been?
I was out hustling. Every day I'm out there trying to impress you. Jeez.
Okay, so I remember this morning asking you to clean out the slop pens in the back.
I did that. This is a deception, by the way.
Okay, roll a deception.
I did it totally. They're clean. So I roll a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on, big money. Deceiving your father for the win. Yes,
nice, solid.
16 plus.
Plus what for deception? Plus 4.
So 20.
Yeah.
So you say your lie, and you have a look of pride upon your face as you say it. But your father's been to the back of the house and has personally inspected the slop pens and knows that they are not done. And thus, no matter how good the deception was, he is aware of this fact, and it doesn't matter how good the lie was. He just looks at you, and he says, "Come here."
Yeah.
And as you lean in closer, he gives you a smack on the face.
Ow! What was that for?
That's for lying to me, you little shit.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it later. I promise.
Get back out there and clean the slop pens, and then maybe I'll have something for you in your hustle.
Oh, jeez. So I head out holding my head to the back, and as I'm walking towards the back, I glance out of my good eye towards the kitchen to see if there was any food laying about.
You glance out towards the kitchen, but as you glance towards the kitchen, something about the patron at the bar catches your eye, and there's the ping of familiarity. Michael, we'll now call Dasmar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to introduce you here. As you've returned to town, I don't know, maybe we can come up with a reason why you would come here, whether it's the familiarity or you were actually seeking someone out. But give our audience listeners a description of what Dasmar, the last name is Elderstag, half-elf druid of level 1, of the 1 of level. Give us a physical description of what he might look like sitting at the bar of the Toad and Whistle.
So he has sort of sandy blonde hair, elvish ears, long hair hanging, and sort of long rough hair. There's a dried flower in his on the right side of his head, and he wears a simple traveler's cloak that is basically filthy, with a traveler's pack on his back, and he sits and his face is weathered. He's 30 years old, but he looks older, even with his elven blood. It's been, I don't know how much detail you want me to reveal, but
no, as much as you want, man. Yeah.
So Dasmar grew up in Grinner's Row until the age of 13, after which his mother died, and his father, an elven ranger, took him out of the city to teach him the ways of the wilds and rangering, which is what his father did. And he spent the next 17 years in the wilderness. And but a few years ago, his father disappeared in sort of mysterious circumstances, and Dasmar found himself sort of lost and stricken with despair. He didn't know what to do. Is this like full backstory time?
No, physical description.
Okay.
Physical
description.
Yeah.
So he's a rough-looking guy. He's been in the wilderness for 17 years, has not been in an urban area since he left at 13. Something's drawn him back. Curiosity. He's to reconnect with his past. He came into town walking through with stairs, being a half-elf in a place that elves are not loved. He had a relatively freshly killed, let's say it was a fawn, that he had hunted, and he went to, hold on, where is it, the butchery first.
We're delving into what you did, not physical description.
All right, sorry. Okay, so he's rough looking. He's sitting there.
What does Tiltrin see?
He sees this rough looking guy, sandy blonde hair, long, a flower in his hair, sitting at the bar, kind of with a sort of a half smile on his face, and kind of just looking around the place as if it's familiar but strange at the same time.
Okay,
that's what he sees.
That's what you see, Tiltrin.
Leave it there.
That's what I see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm sort of preoccupied. My dad's just hit me in the face. I have been embarrassed in public. I'm essentially still trying to find this loaf of bread for my pervert wizard friend so that he'll teach me magic. And I have to go. I've been called out in a lie, and I've got to go clean out the slop. So as I see somebody who looks slightly familiar to me out of the corner of my eye, I keep going into the back to essentially find my mother and talk to her.
Okay. So you guys meet with eye contact, and then Flea turns around and beelines towards his mother in the back.
Yeah.
And as you head to the back, your mother, who has been, doing, she has a slot pen out, and she's been scrubbing it in the sink, and she looks up and she says, "Oh, Tiltrin, I was wondering where you were."
It's Tiltin.
Oh, sorry. Tiltin.
No.
We'll just redo it. She didn't say it wrong. She's your mother.
Yeah.
Tiltin.
Yeah. It'd be funny if she didn't say it wrong. You named me.
Tiltin. Did you... you're back from your morning excursions.
Yeah. Oh, Dad is the worst. He just hit me in front of everyone again. Oh, he wants me to clean the slop pens.
He just wants the best for you. And she sort of puts down the slop pen and comes over and gives you a hug. And she's like, there, my little rogue.
He doesn't care about me at all. He cares about Connor. He cares about Cedric. I'm just the other one. As long as I don't cause problems and I clean the slop pen and stay out of his way. But I'm more than that, Mom. You know I'm more than that.
Well, now I've talked to your father. Okay, and he thinks it's important that you learn some discipline in taking care of the inn, you know. There's not just honor in being a rogue. Excuse me a second, got a cough. Sorry, just had to get that out. There's not just honor in being a rogue, but in being a businessman, a proprietor of the inn. And your brothers haven't exactly taken to it, and I think it would be good for you. It suits your skill set.
I know you think that, but Cedric's going to get the in. Dad has pretty much all but said it. I mean, he's always scamming people, pulling his counterfeits. Everybody knows that he's the one that's going to get this place. Like, I can try my best. I can clean as many slop pits or piles as he wants, but it's not going to get me the in. If you can promise me that I'm going to run this in, I will put my elbows to the ground, and clean that slop. But I think there's got to be another way.
Now, dearie, if you would just be patient. I've spoken with your father, and he has a job for you that I think you would like. But he wants you to prove that you can be responsible. So he asks you to do the slot pens without a reward dangling upon it, knowing that once you finished, he would have a job for you.
All right. I sort of sigh, realizing this conversation is not going to end to my benefit, thinking about the slot pens I'm going to have to clean. But just before I turn away and go to do so, I say to her, "Hey, Mom, I'm a bit hungry. Do we have any food left over? I need my energy for slop pen cleaning, you know."
You know as well as I that the larder's always open to the family. Just help yourself to what you want. Just don't be a glutton.
Sweet. I mean, absolutely. Never a glutton. So now at this point, I head towards the larder before directing myself to the slop pen cleanup. So where's the larder?
Well, the larder's towards the back of the kitchen area. You open it up, and it's slightly down a few set of stairs, and it's more cement walls here, and it's colder. Keeps, the meat relatively fresh, even though there isn't refrigeration. It is cooler, and there's loaves of bread, probably freshly purchased from distributor in another part of town. As every morning, not you because you're not really good at doing the chores of the inn. Fresh produce is purchased and brought to the inn. So there's a few loaves of bread on one of the shelves.
I take 2 of them.
Okay, you now have 2, one in each hand. Do you have a backpack big enough to put them in?
Are they like bread rolls or full loaves?
They're like full loaves.
Okay, I'll take 1.
Okay, you take one, yeah.
I'll take 1 and I'll put it in whatever my backpack is that's holding my thieves' gear.
All right,
so let's say it's like let's say it's a little pouch that goes kind of like a city.
It's
pouch.
like when you roll a D&D character, it's like it assumes you're an adventurer, so it gives you a backpack and stuff. But like in the city, you're not like hauling an adventurer's pack all over town.
No, I hear you.
Yeah,
I got like a little city pack.
All right, perfect. Okay.
And then I go, and then I take, but instead of leaving to go bring the bread, actually, you know what? Screw these slop pens. So I make a play to sneak out the inn through the front door to get the loaf of bread back to Archimedes. So I'm trying to sneak out through the front.
You're trying to sneak out from your father's gaze?
Yes.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Okay. And I'm sneaking by Dasmar as well, who's at the bar, I guess.
Yeah, it's really your father you need to be worried about. No, the other patrons don't care about you.
Okay. Here we go. Come on. A 10? Plus?
10 plus your stealth roll.
Okay, just hang on. Plus 5. 15.
Okay, you attempt to make a dash for the door quickly. You attempt to make a dash for the door quickly, but your father's a sentry in his bar, and remember, he's a rogue of great standing, and it's no easy feat to get past a rogue of great standing, and one that is also your father and knows before you've even thought of it that you're gonna try and skip out without doing the slot pens. So as you are sneaking out, like you sort of you get into sneaking motion and you hide behind a chair and you walk past Dasmer behind him, and as you're sort of making the dash for the front door, a filthy, oily cloth flings out in front of you and lands on your face and obscures your vision and smells like armpits and dirty dishes.
I don't get a saving throw on this or anything.
Nope.
Like, oh God, what is this? Smells horrible. And I throw the cloth. I grab the cloth off my face like it's the alien.
Flea, what are you doing?
Dad,
get back to the slot pens and clean them out.
I was just looking for this cloth that you found that I need for cleaning the slot pens. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that I found this because I was looking all over the slot pens for it. But now I have it. I can go back and clean them.
Quit your balling. I'm sick of hearing it. Just come over here.
Oh. I go back to my dad.
Okay, so you go up to the bar, and Dasmer is like nearby, so you can hear this conversation happening. And he says, "Look, your mom did your work for you. You should be praying every night that you have such a wonderful mother. Because if it was just me raising you, I'd tan your hide so hard we could sell it for we could sell jackets with it. It'd be leather hide. In fact, it'd probably be worth more if I stripped it off and sold it as leather strips. But anyways, look, I got some work for you. You've been talking about wanting to try and be a rogue and to try and be, this wizardy thing or whatever. You need to forget all that. I got a real job for you. You've been looking to prove yourself. Are you interested?
Yeah, anything. I'm ready. Put me in the game.
But listen, you can't fuck this up. Because it's not just your name that goes on this. It's the Fowler name. So if you make a bollocks of this, then it's not just you that suffers the embarrassment. It's the whole family. Are you sure you're ready for this?
Why aren't you asking Connor? Why me?
He's busy. They've got jobs to do too. I mean, we got more jobs than we have hands to fill the tasks. You got to start pulling your weight around here somehow. And if you're not going to clean out slot pens, well, then I got other work for you.
I mean, okay, yeah. Let's do it. I'm good. I won't screw it up. I promise.
All right, sit down. And then he goes under and he reaches for a mug, and then he reaches for some mead and he starts pouring some mead in there, and he's like, "Get that in you."
Before taking a sip, I'm as a rogue, I'm cognizant that we might be talking about rogue business, and that there's somebody within earshot that might, be listening. And I lean forward and whisper to my dad, "Is this the best place to talk about this?" And then I pull a sip at the same time.
He shifts on his peg because he's missing a leg a little bit. He looks over at Dasmer and he says, "You there, boy, what are you doing here? I haven't seen your face around here."
I turn towards him and I say, "But I've seen your face. You must remember mine. It has been a long, long time since I've been here. But you know me." And then I just look at him.
"Should I know you? Enough with the games. Tell me where you're from. Are you here for work?"
"I'm from here. My mother was in your employ when I was a child. It has been a long, long time. Do you remember Sarah, the washerwoman? The one who cleaned the bed sheets? Well, I am her son."
At this point, I finally clue in. I've been so preoccupied on my own bullshit that that I just I realize what's going on, and I turn and I'm like, Das, is that you?
I turn and look at Flea, and I squint, recalling his face. The familiarity, he looks different. He's older. I remember him only as a 10-year-old boy who was my only friend. I look at him and I say, Flea Fowler, can it be you?
It is me. It's me. I'm in the same place where we used to play as kids. God, what happened to you? You look horrible.
I have spent these last 17 years in the wilds. I have not set foot in a city in 17 years, but something has drawn me back. I'm not sure what it is, but I felt the need to reconnect with my past, and here I am, and here you sit before me. All things are connected.
Uh I want to talk to you. I really do, but this is not a great time for me. Maybe we can connect this evening. If you want to get a room here, Dad, we've got a room, right? We've got to have a room.
I haven't seen your mother in a 10-year. How is she doing?
Surely you must remember the wandering fever took her, and my father, the only reason he stayed in this town was for her sake.
My apologies. It's a lot of faces come and go, but yes, your mother was a kind soul. And
So we've got to hook him up, right? We've got a room. Do we have a room?
your father, has he passed on too?
He, as you might remember, he is an elven person, and I do not know where he is. Long life he had before meeting my mother, but he has disappeared. He left. We were in a land I couldn't even describe. The wilderness was so deep, the woods, and I searched for him for a year, and I could not find him. But I decided after some great event that I should come back to this place.
Some great event, saving some mysteries.
It is a personal thing, but
Well, listen,
What is this? 20 questions? Can we get him a room or not? Do we have a room?
settle down. Settle down.
Ah.
Father's talking.
I would say that
You're too old.
I believe that all things are connected. That I'm drawn here on this day to see, and I look at Flea, the only friend I've known that I've haven't seen in 17 years, and here we sit face to face.
Wow, that's heavy.
You're pretty old to be an orphan. Well, you looking for work or what?
I'm open to all things.
Well,
You
know
can trust-
my young lads. I'm sending them out on a job. I could use a second set of eyes on them.
You can trust Dash. Dad.
Well, I
you can
remember
trust him.
Sarah, and she was a good worker, and I'm sure Dasmer or Dash. You call yourself now?
Some call me Das. Dasmer is my name,
it's
but
a chance
Das.
for you to prove yourself here too. I assume you came to the Toad and Whistle for the same reason a lot of our clients come here, jobs. I got one for you.
I did not come here for a job, but I am here, and my friend Flea is about to undertake something, and I will help.
Look,
Okay.
Dash, I'm really happy to see you. I don't know that this is the type of job that you would be well suited for, I guess. Dad, do you think Woods Boy here is going to be an added value to this? What is the job?
I think he would be a great asset to the job, and particularly he would keep an eye on you, and he's someone you've known for a long time, and you could use some friends apart from that old pervert that lives that you keep trying to play.
How do you know about him?
You think anything goes on in Grinner's Row I don't know about?
I knew I shouldn't have rolled a 1. No. No, you're fine. Fine, he can come. Dash, it's great to see you. It's great to see you. We'll catch up.
No, you're taking the job. He agreed to the job, and Terry spits in his hand and holds his hand out towards you, Dasmer.
He
I
does
look at
this
his
for
I,
everybody.
I look at his hand. I reach out to shake it and then think. Then I spit in my own hand, look at it, look at him a bit quizzically, and then I shake his hand.
A deal struck. There's no talking your way out of your chaperone this time, Flea. So, do you want to hear about the job or not?
Yes, yes, I want to hear about it.
will do it by himself and cut you out completely.
Oh, Dad. Oh, just tell us, please.
All right. So, over on, I got a contract. It's been a little while. They're kind of anxious to get it fulfilled. They keep bugging me, so we're gonna send it over to you. Nothing too complicated. If we take a look over here, and he gets out a little piece of parchment, has a scrawled up map of Grinner's Row upon it, similar to what you'd be looking at here on the screen. And he points to the Starshine Bubblery, which is number 7 on the map, over here down on Dancer's Way. Is the proprietor of the Starshine Bubblery has having a bit of problems getting rid of some pests, and negotiated some good gold for it. You get that job done, you can split 1 gold. You got your blades on you?
A question. When you say pests, do you mean like scoundrels and stuff? We're gonna like Bigfoot them out of our yard?
It's probably
do you mean
it's probably some damn rats they got in their basement. If
rats?
Yeah.
On second thought, Dash.
You don't think your brothers had to start?
One.
You don't think your brothers had to start by killing rats before I trusted them with important jobs?
All right, let's just get it over with.
Do you want the gold or not? You can buy yourself a magical diaper for all I care with it.
I don't want the gold as much as I want you to realize my value. So yes, I will take your job of rat killing, and I will bring my forest buddy with me, and he will, I don't know, tame the rats and turn them into some sort of rat army, and then you will see the type of value that I bring.
Okay, well listen, just good. Take the job, get it done, do it with some dignity. Remember, you're there representing the Shadowfoots.
Of course, everything I do, I think of that. I'm a great ambassador. I'm the greatest ambassador. Let's get going. Is there anything else we need to know before we hit the road?
That's it. Just go in, say hi to the client, ask them to let you into the basement. I believe that's where they got some pests grown in there they want disposed of. Dispose of them, show them the corpses, come back, I'll give you your gold. Well, don't forget to collect the gold. It's payment upon delivery of the contract. So you'll need to collect 2 gold from them.
Perfect.
The contract's for 2. You get 1. Say it back to me.
Contract is for 2 gold. I get 1. You get 1.
And you split that 1 with that Dasmer.
Ah, right. Okay. Let's get going.
That's 50-50 is a generous rate. You think any of my other clients get 50% of the rate to take? No.
Family, I'm getting a family package. Fine. All right, let's go, Dash. It's great to see you again. By the way, you look great. Let's go.
He says. He clears his throat before he goes, and he points down on the countertop.
Yeah?
You're going to pay for that loaf of bread?
But Mom said that it's for the family. It's like a family thing. It's that I could have it.
Deception roll? Or it's not a deception roll. That's persuasion roll, maybe.
Yeah, persuasion. She did say that.
She did say you could have it.
Okay, persuasion roll. Here we go. Yeah, baby!
Sorry, the dice disappeared for me. What was your natural 20?
It was a natural 20 plus 6 on persuasion.
Okay, perfect.
Plus 6.
He looks and he goes, get on with it. He makes a gesture just to go on. He's not going to bother with that, fighting you over the. He's had enough talking to you. You can take the loaf of bread, basically.
All right. So we walk out the door. Mike, did you have anything you want to add here, or are you good to go?
No, we walk out the door. And we get. I'm just trying to look at the thing here. What's the closest road?
Well,
Spider
you're on
Aisle.
Spider Aisle. Yeah.
We're just moving over to Dancer's Way.
Yeah.
As we turn onto Dancer's Way, I say to Tilton, "It's been so long since I've been in a city. My memories of it are so vague. I recall playing with you in these streets, but they're so barren." And Bo, I'm just going to ask you if I can do a nature check to see if I could sense if there's a seed or a flower nearby. A seed pod, let's say.
A nature? Okay, let's do a nature.
Well, I want to see if there's anything because I have been in. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm asking to do. All right, let me. Okay, so roll a 20 for what nature check? D20. Oh, an 8. What's my nature? +3. So yeah, it's not so good. So I try to sense it.
Yeah, you're trying to find any sort of vegetation, or specifically flower.
Like seed pods. I'm just looking.
Pods.
Seeds. Is the dirt totally barren, or is there? Are there?
So the roads are mud wracked shit, and nothing, no life grow. They're well trodden. It's oily. Horses shit in it. People do throw out slop buckets out their windows at times. There's little ravines near the houses. On the road, no flowers or vegetation. However, you do spot, as you can see, the Starshine bubblery down the road. That in the house next to it, in a window, there is a potted plant that whoever lives there has, but it's behind the windowed glass.
Behind the window's glass. So as we walk along, I'm sort of in awe of this is such a barren place. It is so full of filth. Yet when you are outside of the city, everything lives. And then I look in the window and I see the pot, and I'm like, and then I'd like to use my druid craft to see if I could cause a seed to sprout.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the spell. Let's describe it to listeners.
Yeah.
They don't know how these things work. So you have an at-will cantrip called druid craft. And tell me what it does.
It says you can instantly make a flower bloom, a seed pod open, or a leaf bud bloom.
That's one of the 4 options it has. By the way.
So basically, if you said the pot was barren, I would want to be if there's a seed pod, I would look in and try to make it.
Okay,
bloom. But it's a cantrip. I don't know.
The flower's not in full bloom, so it is possible to instigate its flower.
The blossoming of the flower. Okay, so I look at it and I guess I use my druid craft. Now, when I look at it, what is it? To make it work, it's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip. It instantly works. It's not a die roll.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it blooms.
So it blooms.
And then a smile leaps onto my face, and I look at my friend don't you see? Don't you see? Life is everywhere, my friend.
Dude, what happened to you? That's really nice. Hey, do you know magic tricks?
Magic? This isn't magic. This is nature. And it is everywhere, even in this desolate place.
Right. Nature magic. Do you know any of that? Can you teach me that?
No, it cannot be taught. Can't you see the flower blooms? It lives. All things are connected, my friend. Come, let's go and complete this task for your father.
Okay.
And I sort of bustle on, just pleased with myself because this lovely flower has bloomed, brightened my day.
So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna put a pin in this a little bit. We're at the halfway mark of our show. We're gonna take a short break. Sorry not to have a cool way of doing this, but I need a few minutes to refresh. We are at 6:15. We're probably going to go about 7. We can go over a little bit if we're having a good time. You guys have a hard out? Or
No, it's...
Yeah, so let's call it here.
I'm good. I can go later.
Go get a refreshment. Get a snack if you need it. We'll take 5 minutes to chill out. And, I'm going to have my break. at the halfway point, but we'll leave off with you both walking towards the Starshine Bubblery. Okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right, we'll be
See you
back.
guys in
chatting.
5.
See you guys in 5 minutes.